Brother O. Kim Leng's story is indeed a profile in courage and hope. I personally have learned so much from Brother O. Kim Leng. Let us now introduce Brother O.
Since young, Brother O. Kim Leng has been a gifted individual. He excelled in his academics, was a natural sportsman, and was talented in music and singing. His lifelong dream, however, was to become a teacher, as he had an outstanding command of English and Malay, and possessed a natural flair for connecting with people. Brother O graduated from a teacher's training college in Kuala Lumpur and was posted to Kuala Lemai, a small remote village in Sarawak. Despite being far from a familiar environment, Brother O exuded great warmth and enthusiasm for teaching, which quickly endeared him to his students and the village community. Everything seemed to be going for Brother O, but that was about to change in an instant. One fateful day, while taking a bath in the river, a tragic accident changed his life forever.
Bila nak terjun dalam sungai tu, tebing terpecah. Pecah maknanya dah tak jauh lah. Jadi bila dah jatuh, tengkuk dulu terseliur sini. Jadi oleh kerana tu patah. Mungkin letak tulang ke-5 dan ke-6. Jadi lepas tu lumpuh dari bahu ke bawah.
His future seemed dark. He had just begun a rewarding career and now faced a lifetime of not knowing whether he would even survive. But it was not in Brother O's nature to take things lying down, and his indomitable spirit shone through.
Tak ada apa-apa yang dapat kita kesalkan. Hidup pun terlalu singkat. Kalau nak menyesal itu kita pun letih kerana menyesal. Letih kerana bimbang. Letih kerana memikirkan perkara yang bukan-bukan. Go forward, go for it, and give it all you've got. Yang saya tahu cuma satu. Kalau saya duduk di rumah tak buat apa-apa, macam mana saya nak lalu hari demi hari? Sebab saya baru saja berusia 24 tahun. Susah untuk dibayangkan, mesti kita buat sesuatu. Jadi saya memang dah ambil keputusan untuk bangkit.
Supported by family, friends, and his faithful wife, Brother O continues his passion for teaching and has provided tuition to hundreds of students over the past 3 decades. He doesn't just guide them in their studies, but gives them crucial life advice and inspires them to live a more grateful and purposeful life. Brother O. Kim Leng is a living example of a person who truly never gives up. Guided by the Buddha Dharma, he has broken through his own challenges and brings the light of hope and inspiration to countless others around him.
I would like to thank Brother Siang Chai and the organizers for allowing me to share some thoughts in these 20 minutes. We live at a time where many people have fallen into difficulties, and some call it a new normal. I do not really know what a new normal is, because every new normal after some times is just another normal. But I know there is one thing that is normal about life. That is, it has its ups and downs. That is normal. And in the ever-changing situation of life, if we can find the best possible response for every situation, I believe that it can contribute significantly to the common well-being, happiness, and peace of everyone. I could still remember during the early days when I just came back from the hospital, a venerable monk came to visit and I was alone in my room. He asked me, "How are you?" I couldn't reply immediately because I simply was not sure. Then after a while, he asked again, "Are you sad?" And I replied, "I don't know." To which he said, "That is a good answer." Of course, I was surprised. Then he went on to tell a story about a farmer who went farming with a horse, and the villagers saw him on the way and said, "Wow, you have a horse. You are very lucky." And the farmer said, "Maybe." And then he went to plow his land. He got tired. He fell asleep, lost his horse, and he had to go home without his horse. And the same villagers saw him, "Where is your horse?" I said, "It ran away." "Wow, you are very unlucky." The farmer thought for a while and said, "Maybe." Then the next day the farmer went to plow his land again, this time without a horse, and to his surprise, when he reached his farmland, he saw two horses, his old horse and a young horse. Probably the horse must have ran into the mountains and came back with a girlfriend, probably. And this time he came home pulling two horses. And the villagers saw him again and says, "Wow, I thought your horse was missing." "Well, you see, it came back. I saw it under the tree. And now this one, it must be its companion." "Wow, you are very lucky. You get a free horse." And the farmer said, "Maybe." And true to his words, upon reaching home, his son, his one and only son, saw the new horse, got so excited, and without thinking that it is a wild horse, climbed on its back, fell from its back, broke his leg. The villagers came running to him and said, "Wow, why bring back such an unlucky horse?" He says, "Look, your son's leg is broken. You are very unlucky." And the farmer said, "Maybe." That evening, soldiers came to the village, banging on their doors, looking for young men to go to war. They gathered all the village young men, and then when they came to the farmer's house, look at the son in the room with a broken leg. They say, "How can you break your leg at a time like this when the country needs you? How can you fight a war with a broken leg? You are excused." And of course the villagers came running to his house. "Wow, lucky your son's leg broken, or else you are very lucky." And I think you know what the farmer's reply was. Maybe. And this story that was told to me taught me about the beauty of realizing equanimity, a balanced state of mind, a mind that is not too quick to judge. Upekkha, equanimity. I have learned that things change all the time. Change is a worldly condition. As mentioned in the Atta Loka Dhamma, the 8 worldly conditions. There will be days you will be famous, you will be praised, you will gain something, and you will have happy times, good times. Remember, don't be arrogant. Remember, be mindful. Don't be too excited. Things change. There will be days where we will be facing disrepute, or our reputation becomes soiled. Days where instead of praise we are blamed. Days where we suffer losses, loss to in terms of wealth or even health or anything, loss of friends, friendship. And there will be days where sorrow and pain is the order of the day. Don't beat yourself too much. Don't do that. Don't torture yourself, because these are the 8 worldly conditions. Sometimes they are called the 8 winds. 8 winds. I like the word wind. You do not know when it will blow, how it will blow, where it will blow from, and sometimes we don't even know why. When the wind blows, it blows. The winds of change. The secret is, when the wind direction is changed, and you cannot change the direction of the wind, you can always change the direction of your sail. If the wind is gentle, go for a walk. At places where the wind is strong, harness electricity. And what if the wind becomes a hurricane? Do the necessary. Bunker in. Stay somewhere safe. Hold your peace and wait out the storm. The storm will pass. Then we can emerge stronger, better, more knowing about the forces of change. And we can better our life, pick up the pieces, dust ourselves, and move on, bettering ourselves each day. There are better days. There are difficult days. I don't deny it. Neither can we. But I have learned there are no bad days. There are good days, sure. Rejoice. Bad days? Difficult days, yes. Just equip ourselves with the best of intention. Put in the best effort in seeking solutions. And trust, things will get better. Well, not always, but at least we face it with courage. Most important is, no matter what the situation in life, is be kind. Be kind to ourselves. Be kind to others. So if others choose to be unkind to us, leave them to the choices they make. Let them gather whatever deeds they want to do and gather whatever consequences they will face. We make it our business to be kind. The 8 winds seems to suggest that fortunate days will turn into difficult days, and difficult days will turn into better days. But not yet, I thought that March 1985 is as horrible as a day could get. I lost my youth, I lost my health, I lost my ability to even breathe properly, and that's why in this video you see me panting a little bit. I lost my ability to play the guitar, the drums, and I can't sing anymore. Forget about wayfarers. I thought that is as difficult as a day can get in the life of a person. But not until I checked into the hospital, and there I was pushed into a room. A nurse stripped me totally naked, put tubes into my body, and then she left the room without closing the door. The worst thing was, I hear people walking by. I can't see because I can't move. I hear people giggling. And the worst is, girls are giggling. And not only giggling in between the giggles, I hear people say, "Ni kan apa, ni kan apa. Hey, do you see that? Wow." I can't move. I can't even talk at that moment. I can't even scream for help because I had no voice. I had an operation done to my throat to facilitate breathing. It's called a tracheostomy. So I'm like a human being without a voice. And I lie down there feeling very angry, very hopeless, very helpless, and you name all the superlatives you want, and I really feel like... Anyway, it was a rotten feeling. What do you do in such situations? Then I did something magical. What is that? I told myself, if I pretend to be dead, they will not giggle because people will be very scared to see a dead body, right? So why am I struggling? I said, I just pretend to be dead and let them look at a dead body. They'll probably stop laughing. It might probably frighten them and keep them quiet. And I did that. First, to make sure it's realistic, you cannot breathe too hard. So I breathe as gently as I can, so that my stomach go up slowly, come down slowly, in breath, out breath, as gently as I can, so that the up and down movement of my stomach cannot be noticed. You know, surprisingly, I actually felt better. There's a time of my life, playing dead is better than being alive. And in that moment, I experienced some peace. Some more peace. And then peace came. I forgave myself. Kim Leng, you didn't ask for this. Don't beat yourself. Don't torture yourself further. To that nurse, forgive her. Maybe she rushed out of the room because there was an emergency. Forgive her. Those giggling, they don't know. They may be teenagers. To a teenager, everything is fun. I forgave. And in that moment, something that I used to hear in a temple, when the body is sick, don't let the mind be sick. I really saw how sick my mind was with anger, how sick my mind was with helplessness, how sick my mind was with expectations, with judgment, with a lot of things. And when peace came, I learned one thing in life. When we die, other people will say RIP on our behalf. That kind of peace is not very valuable. RIP should be respond in peace. The peace that you can experience while alive is 1,000,000 times better than the peace that people offer you as a dead body. This is something that that moment taught me. And this moment actually helped me a lot in my outlook to the rest of the challenges that I was to face in the coming days after that accident. Besides being kind, I will also encourage everyone to be helpful. Avoid evil, do good. Do good. That means be helpful. Anything that can improve upon the lives of others, can bring well-being and happiness to oneself and others, that is helpful. Do it. Just now, we saw that even doing nothing, pretending to be dead, can be helpful. Being helpful does not mean that we must do something. Sometimes trying not to do something that is hurtful to ourselves and others is indeed helpful too. In fact, doing nothing and allowing ourselves to just peace out is better than to be pissed off with a lot of people and a lot of things all the time. I think we can agree with that. So, remember that. If it's not helpful, abandon it. We are here for the greater good of all. Simply so. Yeah? Finally, be true. Be a person who is true. Be honest and do our honest best always. Be true also means that we do not make up stories. Our minds are expert in doing that. Something happens and then all kinds of emotions and feelings will rush in. And then we start a narrative that doesn't seem to have an ending until we get so tired of being tired. When we hate, we keep on hating. When we want something, we become so greedy about it that it cannot stop. And the same thing goes with any kinds of emotion, be it good or not good. To stop, sometimes we need to anchor ourselves somewhere. Don't be like a boat that is being washed away by the currents. Tie that boat. Anchor our emotions and our being somewhere. And we all know that breathing in, breathing out is the best way to press pause so that the narrative does not go on until it poisons all of the rest of life. Besides breathe in, breathe out, there's also one useful method. Just look at the situation, think of all of life, and just say, be well, be happy. And the chances will be you will reclaim all your remaining energy in doing something more fruitful and beneficial to your life and that of everyone and every being around you. With that, I wish you peace, and may the Dhamma protect and bless every one of you here. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share some thoughts. May all beings be well and happy.
Thank you, Brother O. Kim Leng. We are so impressed when we listen to your story. Hopefully, it will motivate those who are facing challenges to face them with the same positivity that you have. Now, let me take a look at the questions. And this question is directed towards Brother O. Kim Leng. And it shows that the audience is listening very intently to Brother O's talk. This question goes like this. Thank you for your sharing, Brother O. You mentioned in your talk that you have good days and difficult days, but no bad days. Why do you say this, Brother O?
Thank you for the question. Brother Charlie says he's 66 years old and I'm 60 and I've made it so far. And every morning when I get up, the first thing I notice is that I'm still breathing. And while I was asleep, millions all over the world did not make it through the night. And I'm one of those lucky ones that made it again. How can there be a bad day? The only thing bad about this day so far was I missed the entire talk by Venerable Sumangala just now because my whole house got blacked out. The Naga national problem. And then my assistant were trying to rearrange things. And then what do? Now, this is that small challenge we have in life, but it does not make it a bad day. It just opens up opportunities for you to respond to it appropriately and as wisely as we know how to. And therefore, the electricity came back, and here I am. You know, I was going through the net the other day and I saw Venerable Achan Chah's meditation center. It has this signboard that says, if you have time to breathe, you have time to meditate. And getting a new day means you still got time to breathe. But we breathe in and breathe out every day. Many of us are just surviving, but we are not living life. In the Salaka Sutta, the Buddha gave a very beautiful analogy. He says, when pain happens, it's like being hit by a dart. We experience physical pain through our senses. And then to a normal person, not only it is a physical pain, what makes us suffer more is actually the mental pain that follows it. That means it's like we being hit by the second dart. And that second dart is the one that is poisonous in life. Truly, there are no bad days because events, circumstances is never against or for anyone. It is our response whether we wisely reflect and wisely act upon it that decides whether we win the day or we lose it. That is all. And then being hit by the first dart simply means that pain happens. And you know, we know there are many people making their own quotes and say, but suffering is optional. If we reflect deep enough and we see the influence of anicca, dukkha, anatta, when we see, and that is another topic to go into, not for today because of time constraints, we will realize that it is like a person being bitten by a snake. What do you ask? What's the first question that comes to your mind? The first question is it poisonous? Oh, no, it's not poisonous. And suddenly you feel relieved. I think pain is like that. It is just pain. It happens and you say, ouch. But the problem with life is if mental pain visits us and we let it go on and on and on and on and on, second dart is poisonous. So I think there are no bad days. A new day is an opportunity for us to right our wrongs, for us to correct our mistakes, for us to have opportunities to do wholesome deeds, to reflect, renew, and refine our lives so that we can be free from unnecessary sorrow and pain. And why there are good days? Because every day is good enough. But is our response good enough? Don't blame the day. That's why you see a lot of rich people born beautiful, people born famous. Yeah. Not necessarily that they are happy, because of the second dart. That's what I think. And therefore, I commit myself to this statement that there are good days. Bad days, how can it be bad when we woke up this morning? Yeah. So I wish that this answer is useful for those who I must have confused. And I hope that if there are any mistakes further, Venerable Sumangala will correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you very much, Brother Changchai. And thank you very much for the question too.
Thank you, Brother O. It's always good to listen to you share your ideas and wisdom. I have another question here for you, Brother O. It goes like this. It is difficult for some people to make a decision due to their fear. And this is the problem that my daughter, the person's daughter, is having now. So how should I encourage her in making decisions? Brother O?
That is why I think just now that to be alive is an opportunity for us to relearn, renew, and refine our lives. there will be difficulties, there will be uncertainties. That's why your daughter is worried, right? And there will be days where we become so helpless. Like if the Naga National don't own the electricity back, that's a form of helplessness. But we don't have to go bonkers because of that, So to refine our responses to life, I give an example. When difficulties strike, what is the normal way of reacting to it? What do we lose when difficulty starts? We always lose our temper first. And then we go down on the spiral, started by that temper. But what if we summon patience, for example? Because patience is not only buying time, no? Patience allows us some peace and think about it. When uncertain, and then we go around diligently looking for solutions. And there will be one, whatever that solution is. But if we lose our temper, we have lost it. But if we summon patience, it helps. And then we refine that. For example, uncertainties that we have been talking about, especially these days. When uncertainty arises, what do we invite first? Our normal way of habitual life. We invite worries. And you worry and worry and worry. Does it solve anything? I don't think so. What if when uncertainties happen, we free ourselves from fear and then make preparations? Just make preparations. What happens if we find ourselves in a helpless situation? For example, there was one day I was at home, one of those years, so enthusiastic and excited about marking a lot of essays on that day. And I got up at 8:30 in the morning. I set up already. Then the boy helping me says, okay, I go to work. I say, okay, thank you. And he put my pen beside me and I was so excited. Today I'm going to mark a lot of essays. And before I could start the first one, I sneezed. Achoo. And what happened? The pen rolled down to the floor. And I looked, oops. First dot. Dot number 1. Oops. Ouch. So what do? I look at my cordless phone. Shall I call someone? And he says, Kim Leng, 8:30 in the morning. You want to ask someone to drive all the way to your house just to pick up a pen. So what do? What do? We summon peace. Just look at it peacefully and say, paper, today I got no class. I can mark in the afternoon. Somebody will come. And I decided, don't call. So what do? You stay at an empty house where no one is walking around. You're all alone. And suddenly you realize you can read a book. And somebody said, the best book to read is your heart. Read your heart. Breathe in, breathe out. Although at the back of your mind, somebody please calm. And you become calm. And nobody came. It does not matter. At least dropping a pen does not destroy a life. Destroy a day at least. And that's how we keep on winning our days. And days well won is a life well won too. So I hope that answers that question.
Very good. Thank you so much, Brother O.